Okay. Hello, hello, hello. I had the wrong overlay on my stream, but we're good. Welcome back to the Triforce Tactics podcast. This is episode 4 now, right? Because we had
Yeah,
one,
we're on
one just
episode
us.
4.
Yeah, and we have the lovely Yubin, aka KR Monkey Dog, if you've seen him run around on the NA server with us today. We can just start off as we always do, just talking about life, talking about our week. I can start, and my week was pretty good. Just I literally have been hard stuck like 300 like 1300 LP this week, right? Now, I climbed a bunch today, but and I figured out what it was. I looked at my wall chest. It was like 15 top fours, 5 bot 4s, and every single one of them was like a seventh or an eighth.
Oh no.
It's like a seventh or an eighth in like a master's lobby, and it's like, yeah. So that's been my week, but you're getting there now. So
Wait, but
choking.
Appies, who we have Yubin on the podcast, but who are the other two people? If you don't
Ooh.
introduce the other two people, how will the audience know who we are?
I can I
True.
can I can
Thank
do an
you.
introduction. I feel like I haven't. All right, so we have Jirachi over in the top right. Maybe if Jirachi wants to have
Uh,
have have me introduce the introduction to Jirachi and then say more about
What was
their
that a
introduction.
sentence?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Don't
What
worry
have
about
I
it.
done? I played some TFT last Saturday. Um, Someone snitched to Kurum about the golf accounts starting on that day with me and Arrow, match business. And I haven't played TFT since then. I actually have not played TFT in a week. Like, I've been busy with grad school. I've had a social. I've actually had a social life. It's so weird. But
Spicy
I'm just
monster.
like, I also like looked at the patch and like looked at what people are playing and then looked at the B patch and was like, yeah, no, I'm off of TFT this week. So everything I've done for the past week has not been TFT related, and it's been fantastic.
We take those.
Yeah. And meanwhile, over in the bottom left, we have the lovely Spider Rider Kevin Ramen
Oh
himself,
yes.
Ram Kev TFT.
Oh yes. Oh my god. It's the duality of the accounts. Today on main, I hit rank 1 global, and then on the Smurf, he ran it down 150 LP in like 4 games. It's a fun time.
Not
It's a fun
bad,
time.
not
It's a fun
bad.
time.
You've
How
been,
has
how's
your
it,
week been? Yeah,
yeah,
you.
how's it been going?
Not nothing like out of the ordinary. I've actually like barely been playing TFT the past like week and a half. I think I played one game today. Um, I lost like 200 LP last patch during the reroll, the Nocturne Yasuo and yeah, I don't know. I haven't really been playing too much TFT, but my week's been okay, I think, for the most part.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it's been okay, that means it wasn't bad, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
yep.
So yeah, start just a couple questions for you, Ben. Just like since we have you on, we want to hear you talk about stuff. So you play in both the North American and Korean servers.
Mhm.
So if you want, just talk a little bit about like the differences between playing in the two servers, like what playing on like different ping is like, and maybe some of the playstyle differences.
Okay, so I've been playing TFT since like I'm not sure when exactly, but around like set two. And from then, I've like actually barely played NA, so I can't really say too much about NA server during like set two and three. But playing Korean server was actually like super interesting because like as I was learning the game, I actually watched NA streamers when I was first learning the game. I watched a lot of Kyun and Soju, but like looking at it now, comparing like NA and Korea, the two regions like side by side, Korea was definitely like super like way more aggressive than any at least earlier in like set two three. I think like now NA changed a lot. Like NA playstyle is pretty much like um similar. Like people like uh play a lot differently compared to set three and four, I think in my opinion. Um and then for the ping wise, I mean it feels good playing TFT with 9 ping, I'm not gonna lie. And then although I think
I'm
TFT
so
isn't
jealous.
really yeah, so I think TFT isn't really like too ping dependent, but like if you play for like 2-3 sets with 9 ping, and then you suddenly like play on a server with like 200 and like 20-30 ping, it gets kind of annoying. So the ping is definitely super good. And then the playstyle, like I'll talk about it a bit more, but like something super interesting I noticed in KR when I played in set 2 and 3 was people played super aggressive. Like during the Olaf meta, the whole lobby in Challenger would literally be 0 gold at 3-1. Like if you didn't roll to 0 at 3-1, you're basically going 8th place. Every forecast was pretty much out of the pool by 3-1. So that was super
Oh my
interesting to me. And then
god.
What?
it was super
Hmm.
yeah, it was super interesting. Actually it was super common for people to roll at level 2 and 3 as well. Like strip just donkey roll for like knight upgraded knights or something. And this is like high challenger too, so it's not like low it was like a low elo thing, which I found pretty much interesting. I don't think anyone really did that on any from what I recall. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm
wild.
so jealous of the 9 ping. Like
Yeah,
having only gotten to like
Also,
30
like,
at the lowest, I'm just like, okay, being a mechanical player, like yes, TFT's not a mechanical game, but like I'm trying to imagine playing on 9 ping and how smooth that would feel, and I'm just like, ugh.
no, I totally get you. I think most players in KR, they like to this is like no flame, but I think the majority of Korean like high challenger players have like way faster APM and like micro mechanics in TFT than any players from what I've noticed. And like someone like me too, I like those like micro decisions, like the last second swapping and um like board swapping, but I can't always do that with 220 ping, and it's kind of annoying. Yeah, when I play on any server. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely feel that one. I was
Yeah.
when I was I was taking my OCE vacation at the end of set 4.5, the
Mhm.
250 ping, even only coming from like not coming from 9 ping, but coming from like 30, sometimes like 90 if I hit the wrong
Yeah.
server. Like going from 90 ping to 250 ping still feels so bad.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like trying to do last second swaps and like having to account that extra ping into the swap.
Mhm.
Like it feels really bad.
Yeah.
So
I've never been like I mean, anyone who knows me will know that I've never been the most mechanically intensive player. When it comes to like rolling down, I'm fine, but when it comes down to like like quick swaps and everything, I like to play the see I would thrive, I feel like, going to another server because I play like I'm on 200 ping all the time. It's
Mhm.
like I say, fuck it, I'm not doing the quick swap thing. I'm just gonna mind game them. I don't move for 4 rounds and then I move the fifth round, or better yet, I don't move the fifth round and they think I'm gonna move. So it's like,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I feel like a lot of TFT, like, I think like, it's kind of probably a lot of the NA playstyles too. I think when Robin was on, he was talking about how in regionals, he like Soju was talking about how he knew that Robin wasn't gonna move because Robin always moves back or something. And so like you have to start playing the mind game, right? Because even if you swap right at the end, like they know your habits, they know what you're gonna do, kind of. So I like to pretend like I don't need mechanical skill in terms of swapping stuff, but yeah, I can see like if you are very adept at that, and it is part like a big part of your play style, which you like how you like to PD people, especially like late game. Like it could be really hard on like 200 ping. Like you swap something and then it just like zooms back all of a sudden the round starts.
Yeah.
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 it doesn't matter if you're on 200 ping when your brain is on 200 ping anyways. I see.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
mean, I try to move
Exactly.
max 1 unit per round. I think that's my maximum. I can't move my carry. Check to see if I'm getting Zephyred.
No, you know what the best one is when like how I like well the lazy swap, the lazy fake swap is it's like the
You
round's
just
about to
move it
start.
one
You
over
move
and you move
yeah,
back. I
you
hope
move
they were
back.
looking at that exact moment.
The best thing though is when like say you have a trap claw, right? You move the 1 unit and then you move it back like, oh shit, how'd they see that coming?
It's
But
like
then what
you
you
haven't
do,
moved your trap
what you
claw.
do, you do that like 3 times. You say you're losing every round, right? You do that 3 times, you move the 1 unit, then you move the trap claw unit with them, and that's it. That's your positioning. Everything else stays the same.
I mean, if your board strength is strong enough, you don't even have to move. Think about it that way. Just make the
Yeah,
strongest
true,
possible
true.
board. Just 3-star your 5 cost. Don't move your units.
Yeah, my
Oh
my
my
Doesn't even
macro
God.
matter.
for my
Doesn't even
micro.
matter. Who cares?
That's actually something I've been doing. Like with certain comps, I'm just not gonna move because like it's actually just better. Like with A-Bomb Vel'Koz. Like with Redeem Vel'Koz, I'm swapping back and forth all the time, but with A-Bomb Vel'Koz, I'm just like, no. Like, I can swap my board in like 2 seconds, and I'm literally just gonna not, because I'm just gonna AFK it by the grave. And like,
Yeah.
literally just check if I need to decorner it or not, and that's it.
Yeah, you know what
Yeah.
the problem is that like particularly when there's a Sin player, right? So for example, today, I was like win streaking like a Ziggs too, right? And I literally there's a Sin player like a Sin player and then like a person with Sin Jacks in my like queue. So what I did is I was like every single round for the entire stage, I frontlined my Ziggs, right? I didn't hit either Sin player once the entire stage. It was fine. It ended up being fine because like it just like no one had anything to kill him in the front line. But like I feel like it can be so inconsistent to try to like as much as you want to like quick swap because you're seeing the Vel'Koz player on one board and whatnot, you're seeing an assassin player, they can just move that unit at the end of the round. So I get a little lazy because I start thinking like that, and then I'm like, well, I can just like save some mental and that's what I think, and then like I move into the assassin player or I don't move and the assassin player didn't move either, and then it's like it's like I didn't move, so they have to move. I don't have the energy, but they must have the energy to do that, and then we're both just lazy. It's awful.
Also, I'm pretty sure as if you're doing that AFK brain like never move style as a Sin player, like you're automatically capping yourself out because I feel like and this is especially relevant because of Sin still being really good, but like I feel like you always have to be hitting correct side on Sins. Like even if you have like an RFC on Nocturne and you send them down middle, like okay, you still really want to get Diana on same side as carry,
Yeah.
or you want to get like Viego
Yeah.
on top of it. You still want to get like other Sins on top of the carry and fuck them up. So like, and people who AFK position like don't scout with Sins always confuses me.
Yeah, that's a comp where you really should be. You should
Mhm.
be sweating a little bit. You should at least be like faking it out, right? Like make him worry a little bit. like,
Yeah.
like pretend like you're like
Just get
really
your
sweating
Diana
it,
on
and
their
then
carry, win the fight.
yeah, exactly. You just move that one unit at the end of every round, and you just win every single round. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And also, have you noticed any differences in the community between North America and Korea?
Communities like as in
Like
like
just how
countries?
how the players just like kind of interact with each other, and like the three of us have experience with like the NA community, but
Mhm.
like I have no idea what it's like over in KR. So if you want to just like talk
Community
about that a
wise,
little bit.
I think like Twitch wise, I don't really watch too much Twitch, so I can't really say too much. But I think the any TFT community is a lot more like close together. It's like small, but like everyone seems to like know each other and they're like all like super friendly to each other. Um, I can't really say too much about Korea. I can talk about like the clan part, I guess. Like I think in one of the questions someone mentioned like clans in KR server. Um, so in KR like Challenger, I don't know how many there are right now, but there's like three, four, five like big clans in Korean Challenger. Like if you look at the leaderboard, you can see like something in front of their name, like whether it's like UL or like TWTF or like HCING. And those are essentially just like clans made by individuals in High Challenger, and then they'll like recruit other people that think that are like good or worthy enough of being in their clan. I was in one in set 4 as well, and I think it's like I think it's really interesting though. I was actually kind of surprised any doesn't have anything like that. It's super helpful when you're like trying to get better at the game. You're basically surrounded by other like super high elo players, and then I think it also really helps during tournaments. And like one of the uh things I noticed, like even in World qualifiers this set, um, so there were 16 players in the final 2 lobbies, and 8 of the players were actually from one clan in KR. They were all from UL,
Oh
and
shit.
then out of the 3 people that qualified to Worlds, 2 of them are from UL as well. Yeah, so like they do a lot of. I was in UL back in set 4 and 4.5. I left because I don't really play on care like at all anymore. But basically, what you do in those clans is like they have their like own Discord servers, and um, it's like somewhat mandatory to like be active in those Discord servers. You like basically stream your games. Um, People like help you, like there's like one-on-one coaching going on like consistently. There's usually like at least 10, 15 people like actively in the voice channels. And then when tournaments are like super close, they'll do like daily scrim blocks. Like they will not play solo queue at all. They will play like
Mm.
scrims for like 8 hours a day for like a week straight. And then a lot of the clans are super like uh they keep like their strategies and stuff like to themselves. So even like during scrims, they'll play on like secondary account that like no one like random accounts, like people won't be able to like ult chest them, and like it's kind of like try hard, but it definitely works because even in like the prior tournaments, a lot of the people that do really well in the world qualifiers are usually from like clans. So yeah, I found that really interesting. I was kind of surprised nothing like that existed in NA when I first started playing in it. Yeah,
That's actually so sweaty,
it's
honestly.
It's
crazy.
Which,
like
like,
crazy.
I mean, makes sense. It's like you're going hard on attorney. Like, you're gonna do everything you can. I feel we don't really have like formal clans, but we have a lot of Discord servers that people hang out in. I guess like
Yeah.
Hobby 2 was kind of like the original quote unquote clan, and like they were kind of like helping out each other a lot back in like the first few sets, and even now like the like Soju Kiyun, Milk, like they were all helping each other out with regionals. And we've had like some Discord servers pop up, like Garchomp U in set 4. Like that was, it blew up like way out of proportion. Um and just it kind of
Hmm.
got too big for its own good, but it's like it's none of these were like, they're not like clans. It's just like kind of these communities where
Yeah,
or
for
like
sure.
they're kind of like gathering, and we're all just kind of like exchanging information, helping each other out. And I guess like currently the K what's Yubin's Discord, KUDT, there we go. KUDT, like same deal. Like we've been just kind of like streaming games, not even talking, just like streaming and having people watch.
Yeah.
And then if you want to if you really want to call the Golf Clan a clan, Kurum's golf Kurum's golf equipment.
But
Current
like
golf
those
equipment.
like personally for me, because like I don't really like. I mean, I haven't actually played in any tournaments, but I like those like casual communities. I feel like the ones in KR, they're super like I'm just speaking from my experience in UL. They're really like omega tryhard. Like there's a lot of rules that you have to like follow, and like you said, I think you were just talking about the Garchomp thing where like it blew up, like everyone, a bunch of people joined up, and then it basically just became like a big community. Um, those like clans in KR, after they reach like a certain threshold, like 20, 25 people, they don't recruit anyone, and the only people that they like the only ways to get into those clans are you need a recommendation by someone within the clan, like saying that like this person's actually like good, and then like
Hmm.
on top of that, they a lot of them only recruit one tricks after like 20, 25 people because um having like a bunch of like extremely high low one tricks in your clan, like it's super beneficial for the players. Like they can learn like super certain comps like really fast, right? And then it's also
Which
like
a
super
pack of
helpful for
dummies.
the people that are like trying to compete in tournaments. Like they're just omega sweats basically. Yeah, they're super strict. And like personally for me, I just like the casual like community Discord servers where you can just like join whenever, like stream whenever, and have um, like positive backseating from other players.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I think it's.
yeah. You go ahead.
I think it's very conducive to like everyone getting better, right? I feel like NA is very like we're all very like cordial to each other. All I think everyone's like I know no one's like a dick to anyone, right? And there are certainly like groups of like high elo players and stuff um that are in Discord all the time talking to each other, like coach each other through games and stuff. There are definitely a lot of players like towards the top of NA though that like are very much on their own kind of thing, you know. Um, like, I feel like before I started talking to like Jirachi and Kevin, I barely talked to anyone about TFT besides stream. Um, And I think like as we're moving forward as a community and stuff, like some of those things are like people are starting to like make more groups, or like the groups are starting to expand a little bit. But there are definitely more people like the top of NA that aren't like that really just don't talk to anyone at TFT and are just kind of like lone wolfing it. But I think that the fact that people aren't doing that is definitely I mean, myself included, I should definitely talk to more people about TFT because the thing with TFT is that everyone is so good at their own things. Um, that there's so much to learn from everyone, right? Like everyone in Challenger can learn so much else, so much. Like everyone in Top Challenger can learn so much from everyone else in Top Challenger because our playstyles are all different. Like our biases towards certain units, certain positions, whatever, are all different. So like I think a community like that, like a clan like that, would be amazing to have. Like it's something it's really cool to have more stuff like that in A. But there's a lot of pride I feel like too, and like personal understanding of the game in NA. So I think that kind of gets in the way of making a community like that, like a consistent thing at the top of. That's why we end up having like our community, like our top level community, is much more like shit posty, like just goof off with each other kind of deal, Uh, while Korea is very sweaty, like let's all get better at the game together kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Feel
mean,
over here, it feels almost more like friend groups and just a thing you can just like drop into and like
Yeah.
you just kind of do whatever, and we're all kind of like helping each other get better. And what it sounds like over in Korea, it's like let's help each other get better in a within our very specific subset. Like fuck everyone else. We're going to do everything we can to like get our clan better and than everyone else rather than like improving the server as a whole. So like that kind of difference is really fascinating actually.
Yeah. Also, like I remember when I was in UL, like when there's like a big patch or something, or like special events, for example, I think the one I can think of is do you guys remember in like set 4 when there was like a 4.75 patch? Like where there
Mm.
was like a big like change
oh,
within
you mean
4.5.
after they got rid of the one cost free roll, like all
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
buff
Yeah, yeah,
updates?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like on that day, like so JMT is like another big clan in Korea. I think they're like disbanded. There was like some internal drama, but then uh like there'll be like UL versus like JMT or something. Like I remember during that day there was like a big scrim set up. Like the top 8 highest ELO LP players from UL versus like the 8 highest LP from like JMT. It's like a friendly thing, right? And then there's also like a prize pool. Like I think the prize pool was like 300 $400 or something. I don't know who funded it. I think it might have been Corpic. But there's stuff like that. Like it just motivates like people within like clients to like get better at the game. Yeah, like those little like special. I think I wasn't in UL when this happened, but there was also like a UL versus Italy thing that happened. I think a couple months ago. I think it was like the 8 highest LP like Italian players in EU West versus like UL or something. But like those little like fun events and stuff, like they're like fun, but then they're also like super like beneficial for the players. And yeah, I think that's one of the cool like aspects of having like a clan in the server. Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Or having multiple clans. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just speaking from personal experience, I feel like I didn't start interacting with the TFT community until like 4.5. No, I was just like, I talked to two people in in-game chat when I recognized their names, but outside of that, I just played TFT and told nobody about anything. But I feel like nowadays, like NA, we really, and maybe this is like a streaming thing. I'm not too sure because like I feel like for the most part, what in NA a lot of times is like just watch streams, right? There's not too much of, I mean, like I'm thinking about the Garchomp Pro server, and it's definitely not as big of a hub as it used to be, right?
No.
And there's really
Yeah.
nothing. There's nothing in NA really, or that's like just a formal sort of use this thing to improve at TFT type of group, right? Like there's like friend groups, there's shit posts, like something like talking about TFT comes along with that, but there's not too much like that in NA. Just organization of players specifically for TFT, right?
Yeah, there's nothing that's like specifically for getting better at the game. Like a lot of it is like Discord servers and stuff, where like you make friends and then you get better at the game, or like you coach each other, like you DuoQueue, stuff like that. DuoQueue.
DuoQueue at Max.
Yeah,
Counting it down, feeding LP to the rest of the ladder.
yeah, right. It's like there's nothing that's literally there's no like TFT boot camp, like TFT Academy kind of thing, I don't know, like there's not a bunch of TFT players sitting around a table with a glass of whiskey, like staring at a chessboard. That's actually just like TFT on a little screen, that one scene from Queen's Gambit. I always think whenever I talk about TFT, I feel like that one scene where like they walk into the room. This is like a totally off topic. But they walk into this room, or they walk by, and there's like they're in Russia towards the end of the thing, and all the Russians are like around this table, like drinking whiskey, like talking about the one position in the game. Whenever I talk about TFT, I feel so cool. I need a drink in my hand too, like it doesn't have to be like alcohol, but I always feel so cool whenever I talk about TFT with anyone because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm basically in the Queen's Gambit right now, but for TFT. But yeah, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. So
Cool.
Well,
next, if we want to move on, for cool with that. Next thing we have is talk about like the meta that's kind of developed, and specifically the B patch, and how it didn't do that much.
I think it helped get the game in a better spot for sure. I think the thing is like Yasuo nerf is definitely justified. He's still playable for sure. He's like still very playable. I definitely like. I think they just moved everything more towards like a tempo position, right? You can't just like open for it Sins. You can't open for it Yasuo, etc. I feel like you can still open for it Chugbug, but uh, and like Vayne is still really. I think Vayne and Chugbug were like the least hit by far. Personally, I feel like Chugbug is fine and Vayne is fine. Um,
Yeah, I
but I
haven't really
mean,
been playing too much this, or I haven't really played too much this the B patch since the B patch, but it seems like all the nerfed comps are still like actually playable, like pretty good. Like I still see people complaining about Yasuo all the time on stream, and then I still see people complaining about Sins, and I don't know about Chugbug because I haven't really seen it too much, but yeah. I was actually surprised about the Yasuo nerf because when I looked at the numbers, I thought it was like kind of big, but it seems
yeah,
like it's still pretty good for some
I
reason.
feel like with Yasuo, like the buff was just so much bigger than anyone could have expected. So like the buff was nuts and brought him to an absurd power level that like the nerf wasn't like as absurd as the buff was. It was like a big nerf, but it wasn't like quite that level. So it was still like, okay, we brought down Yasuo's power level, but he's like that power level came from batshit insane to still really good. And then like the Sins nerf, like I'm actually really happy they only touched 6 Sin because like 6 Sin was just absolutely absurd. But like especially because it just required like Viego and a spat that you could make.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of the chase traits don't have a spat you can actually make for them. It's you have to get them out of a tome specifically. So the fact that 6 Sin is that much power and you can like you can get it as long as there's a spat in the game. Like that totally justified nerf, and I really like that they didn't nerf Forsen because like Forsen has felt balanced for a while. Like it's a good amount of power, but like it's not overbearing and it's still beatable.
Wait, did
So like, I
they hit it a
they
little bit.
they hit it a little bit.
did they?
They
Okay,
Yeah, they took
I
ten
missed
percent
that.
off or something.
Okay,
I think it was like 40 to 30 or something on like the crit damage or something like that. It was some little hit. I think it was good though that they nerfed it a little bit.
yeah. Like Forsen definitely didn't need a huge nerf or anything. It was more 6 Sin.
I know Kevin felt strongly about Force In.
Oh yeah.
going
I
into
mean, I
the
feel like
Really?
I played Sins enough to the point where like I felt like 4 Sins is still like super strong and stronger than it needed to be because you could still win lobbies with just 4 Sins with like proper items, proper position.
You needed some help though. It wasn't like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
automatically hit Nox 3 Force and you win the game.
Yeah,
So I think in like that sense it was actually like it was pretty balanced. But like 6 Sin also like 6 Sin, if you have 6 Sin, you have a Sin Spat, presumably that Sin Spat's on the fiddle, and that Sin Spat fiddle removes any kind of counterplay to Sins because you can't clump up anymore to protect your carry from a Nocturne because it's just gonna get hit by a fiddle anyway. So like
Yeah.
like that decent size 6 Sin nerf totally justified. It's like And I'll start to someone else. I just want to mention the Vayne. I remember Pocky saying like, okay, if they just nerf Vayne's true damage again, it's not gonna do shit because it's not like just the true damage.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the nerf and I was like, oh, they
a
nerfed
lot
her
of people
true
actually
damage.
Capture on the wrist.
So
Yeah, they I don't know. I think a lot of the stuff feels like very playable still. I had a 4 sin game that I won last night, right? And I won the game off of it. It was like tempo sins rather than like open fort sins. Literally, I was win streaking stage 4 with like here's my board, right? Nocturne, Diana 1, Nocturne. I think like stage 5 I was win streaking. It was Nocturne 3, Diana 1, Pike 2, Kha'Zix 2, Fiddle 2, Fiddle 2, Fiddle 1.
Okay.
And I won every
Fiddle
round, and it
spins
wasn't even close. It wasn't even fucking close. Like,
Not bad.
Yeah,
The
like, I
optimal
feel like
sin
it's still
cost.
please tell me you
so-
hit Fiddle 3 that game.
no, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Okay,
I
never mind.
Yeah, it was like I don't know. Like they're still so strong once you hit. I think it's just like it's harder to get to the point where you hit Nocturne 3 now, right? But if you have Frozen Heart Diana and a Nocturne 3, like the rest of your board can be like 6 poppies and you're winning the game. Like I don't know.
Oh,
It's-
okay.
well,
You
not-
need
not
four-
literally,
You
but-
still need 4 sin. for
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it's
yeah.
worth.
It's so good though.
But you
It's
can
still
have
so good.
4 sin spats with a poppy in.
Exactly.
Play literally 5 units probably and just be okay still.
Hmm.
Like you just need the 4
If you-
assassins and a revenant, preferably Ivern, but literally any revenant works.
And you
you're
can
good to
somehow
go.
keep the traits in without having to play the units.
Yeah. And it's just it's like what is the not Dami Mommy's Leona. I think the Poppy 3, Assassin Poppy 3 is Sloppy Poppy. I think
Dami
that's
Mom?
one of the top.
What's
Yeah,
Dami
Dami Mom's
Mommy?
it's
Nobody
Assassin's
has
Fat
played
Leona
that
3.
comp
Oh my
before.
God.
It's not-
Yeah, Assassin's Fat Leona 3, and
It's
then
actually
Poppy
a
is
myth.
Sloppy Poppy. And
Jesus. Y'all, that's like a whole new level of sin degeneracy. Like, oh my god.
I was actually theory crafting Dami Mommy today because I made a Smurf for the first time today, right? And the first game I started out with a Rod Leona off Carousel, and I was like, oh shit, you know what it is? It's Sinspat, Rageblade, BT, Leona 3, and that's the Dami Mommy. And then you just carry the Nocturne 3 and pretend like Leona's not there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's too
So what
hard.
you slow roll on level 5 for Leona 3, and then you go level 7 and slow roll for Nocturne? Is that what's up now?
No. You slow roll for Nocturne 3 and Leona 3 at level 9.
Uh-huh.
Because if you're not level 9, you can't play Volley 2, and that's the key part of the comp. Yeah, you stabilize on Volley 2, and then from there you find the rest of your pieces.
What?
Ideally, you
mean-
don't play Leona until level 9. Because she doesn't fit on the board until 9, honestly.
I'm so sad about the state of Chug Jug, because, like, you know how it's reroll Gragas, but you put tank items on him? Back when I was rerolling Gragas,
Back in
before
my
everybody
day.
else was rerolling Gragas, I would literally try to play AP Gragas. You know, you can put a Gunblade Archangels,
That's
another Gunblade on it,
Double Gunblade Archangels.
you know?
Sure.
Wait, is it just your like? Is Gragas 3 like hella fake? Like no cap. Like
Yeah, it's super
feel
fake.
like no difference between Gragas 2 and 3. Like
It's
first round,
Gragas 3 has more health for more Dawnbringer healing, but
yeah, but he
like
still gets like one shotted and like
Yeah.
like,
Come on now.
You know what the biggest difference is that if you 3-star Gragas, you can put it in your thumbnail. That's the biggest difference.
That's true.
You can't put Gragas 2 in a thumbnail. Yeah, they're both just big dies you take damage. I don't know. Is it just his damage that scales or is his damage reduction scale too?
I think it's just as damage.
Yeah, I think it might.
So like
Okay, that's
the only real point of like 3-star and Gragas is having just a shit ton of health on your frontliner. That and like the health benefits Dawnbringer healing anyway. So
Yeah,
like it helps out, but like I think I realized this after reading Casper's guide 2 patches ago on Chug Jug and being like, let's try this. And then I rerolled for exclusively the Jug. and then just watched it get destroyed every fight. I was
Yeah.
like, it's not just Chug Chug.
What are they doing to my boy?
Gragas 3 on his own is so bad. But Gragas 3, like, Omega tanking 4 Kha'Zix 3 blowing up the back line is nuts. So
Yeah,
that's what makes it work.
You watch your like triple damage item Gragas 3 just get surrounded by like 8 units and like die in slow
Yeah,
motion.
while he kills one thing as Lucian in the back just goes down the rest of your team, you're like, what the hell? Why did I put my
How
items
did I
on this
get-
garbage
yeah.
unit?
No,
How
you
did I
put
get to this
you
spot?
get the Gragas to target down the Lucian 3 and one-shot the Lucian, so then the rest of the board can't.
Oh, you need a sin spat on the
Yeah.
Gragas.
Yeah,
Just
Sin Spat Gragas.
Gragas.
Sin Spat's
Okay.
the answer to everything. That's what we're learning today.
I played a Chug Jug game a while ago, and my Gragas 2 with Sinspat, I played Gragas 2 to like 9. With Sinspat, it one-shot a Draven 3. With like, it was it was like Titans and something, I think, is the items. It literally like the Draven got hit by like one little thing, and then Gragas just bopped it and it died.
Was
It
this
was
6
6
then?
in. It was
Okay.
6 in, yeah.
Okay,
it was
there
6
we
in.
go.
It literally just one shot. Like it didn't have a chance. Chug Jug was real. I miss Assassin Chug Jug.
Woke.
Yeah, it was woke as fuck.
Because like I'm also pretty sure on Chug Bug, if you get a Sin Spat, it is not correct to put it on Krakus because he's
Yeah, I
your
don't think you
front
ever
line.
found Gragas.
Oh my god, no.
Even that degree.
Nope. It's like putting a Sin Spat on Ivern. It's like he's your front line. Why are we yeeting our front lines? Or same thing with like Sin Spat Volley. Like, can we have our front line be front line and not yeet to the back line?
Yeah. I think that game someone said they'd gift like 5 subs if I played Chug Jug, which is why I kept it on the board. But yeah, it was a first. We take those.
Big sins, baby. Got nerfed
Uh,
recently.
So another thing we can talk about that got announced, assuming we can talk more about the B patch if you'd like, but set 6 got announced.
The big
Any
drop.
thoughts?
Oh,
Actually, I've not watched the video, but like,
Really?
I heard things about it. I'm not sure what to think about it. Yeah,
It
There-
seems fun.
seems fun.
yeah. It's
I'm also
I-
addicted to TFT. So
yeah, aren't we all honestly? I feel like at some point, like we all just like we all just get excited for a new set because we're just like, okay, we're done with this set. Like, just get me to the next one. It's like why we all just hard pivot PvE as soon as it comes out.
you do some sweaty PBE lobbies. The Hextech
Yeah.
augmentation thing looks super cool. It sounds super cool. I think it's gonna be tough to balance probably, but depending on like if people get different ones, but if everyone's the same one, it's probably fine. But yeah, it seems cool as hell. I'm excited. Looks like it'll add a lot of variety, like game to game, a lot of variance, extra variance game to game that will be like hopefully very skillful. Because I
Wait,
think variance is good as long as
announce,
it's.
Did they announce like how that works? That mechanic? Like, do you get to like choose?
They
Yeah, I'm
said
not too sure. Wait, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Maybe you got more from the video than I did.
I don't think they. What it sounded like. I mean, I wouldn't say what it sounded like is you can either choose or you can't choose. That's literally the only two options. It seems like everyone either gets the same thing or you choose your own thing. I don't think like everyone gets random things or anything. That's what it seems like at least, and that's like what I'd imagine it'd be. It could be like a radiant item, right? Or like a radiant armory where like you choose your augmentation, like what, like 4-3 or 4-3. That's not when you choose your 3-6.
That makes sense. I really like that kind of like like having it be random but still giving you some kind of choice, which is why I just like the armories in general. But like
Mhm.
giving you like options for your Hextech augmentation, but not having it be like every option possible. And then it's like, oh, you have some options and you pick and you can choose from these options which is the best for your game plan. And if that's how it works, I'd love to see that. But like it was like like a 5-minute video of like, oh, here's stuff that's happening. Here's like a little bit of info. I feel like we don't know that much about the Hextech augments. So
No, that's why it's exciting. There's like so much to theory craft about it. But I mean, we can just also wait till PvE and then we'll shove it in our faces and we're good. Which I'm happy with. I'm down for him to just stuff it down my throat like a man feeding a fat kid.
Like, a lot of interesting things though, right? Like you can see who you're gonna fight next. I don't know how useful that one's gonna be. You
Yeah, I
already
feel like that was
know
kinda
the next
useless, like,
3,
not gonna lie.
right? Like if you're actually tracking, then
You get
like
hard sweat though. You get a hard sweat. Like every single round, you're just God, imagine how mentally taxing the game would be where you hard position for someone every single round of the game. Oh
So
my
literally
God.
what I do.
Yeah.
That's literally how I play the game at peace.
Well, like you sweat for like three people. Like you play like best positioning for three people at once, right? Like
That's
you can
even
play for your hardest
harder.
matchup.
That's
I
actually
guess
even
so.
harder to do, by the way.
I guess so.
Yeah, because you have to like factor in like micro decisions with three different people. You have to like if it comes down to like you need to pick a side and two of them are on one side and one's on the other, you have to decide how much do I value hitting correct side for this matchup. It's actually ridiculously hard to like Omega Sweat position for three people at once. If I know who I'm fighting every single round, my life becomes so much easier.
I take it back. I actually agree. Yeah, actually, it's not mentally taxing. It's probably just way easier. Because
It's
like,
so much easier.
for example, like positioning wise, like you kind of have to sweat positioning, right? At least like the hop wall, you have to sweat positioning every round. Otherwise, you're just gonna get like Vel'Koz diffed every single round, or you just pull the like no move AFK strat. But like, I guess yeah, because you don't have to worry about like what if I play the Vel'Koz guy, what if I play the Sin guy. You can just like and then yeah, I guess I take it back, take it back. It's not mentally taxing because I guess like we all kind of do it anyways. And we do it for three people at once. So it's like, yeah, never mind. I capped.
I
That
mean,
was a stupid opinion.
what I do is like, if you know the three, what I do is I look at the three, I look at their fours, I'm like, is this person strong? No, I just look at the strongest person and position for them.
Yeah, I think that's what
That's
most
the
people
same.
do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
like,
play for the worst matchup.
and then
Yeah.
I
Unless
just
the worst
like
ends, you
go
just pray you
position
don't hit
for
them.
them. But it's true, like if you knew every turn. But sometimes like if I see, oh, my next person that I'm fighting, they're not playing a board, they're completely open for it. I guess in those situations, maybe it's like even better. Like, oh, I don't have to play anything on my board. I can play one unit.
You probably wouldn't get it that early in the game, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because there's some crazy augments. Like you can get Ornn artifacts. You get Ornn artifacts, or there's no way you can get Ornn artifacts. Like those are
No,
crazy.
there's no
Yeah.
way.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And then there's like the get 10 units.
That one.
Oh,
level
yeah.
10.
I'm not
I don't know how
sure
that
I
one's
feel
gonna
about
work.
that
I don't know how
one.
that one's gonna work.
Level to 10, it costs like 200 gold.
Okay, well,
And you,
Well, then
you level
nobody's
10,
getting
you get
level
the
10.
20 costs that are in Chinese TFT.
People barely go level 9 nowadays, anyways.
So I know you said you didn't see the video yet, Yubin, but
Yeah.
I'll spoil a little bit. Blitzcrank is back, which means that Thresh is gone. What are your thoughts on Blitzcrank being back compared to Thresh? I mean, I need to get some Thresh hate in.
I think Thresh is way more broken than Blitz.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Thresh as a unit is like actually not a two cost, and I don't know how he has not been touched or like nerfed. Um, Blitzcrank, hmm.
Blitzcrank you can play around, right? Very
Blitzcrank
consistently.
you can technically kind of play around, but then like I think the problem with Thresh is like a lot of the units you play aren't like actual like four range units, like the corner beats that you play in certain comps,
Yeah.
like for example like Karma or something, right? Like at the start of the round, the units will like walk up, and then your carry is like almost guaranteed gonna get hugged, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, it
But
feels
yeah,
so
I feel like
bad.
Thresh is actually so broken. Like I actually hate that champ.
You know when MF Thresh was really popular and like Thresh 3 would hook your unit, or Thresh 2 even would hook your unit into the middle of the board, into the MF ult, into the Hecarim ult, into the Nautilus ult, and then instead just like, fuck it, I'll get in on that action and just ults it too.
Yep.
It's so, oh my god. I'm so glad
Thresh
Blitzcrank's
is just
back.
so hard. It's so annoying too.
Yeah.
I miss Pete Cavs so much. That shit
I
was
do
so
not.
much fun.
I did
I
not.
miss
miss
that
that.
shit.
Pete Crab,
Calling me horsey, watching a Thresh 3 hook the Aphelios into my MF3 and Heck 3, and they just can't play the game. It was so fun.
Yeah.
yeah, as someone,
Yeah,
some
yeah,
people
I had to
didn't
play
okay,
play.
it was
25
fun
games
for
a day
me.
on that patch.
like
That
nightmares.
patch. Ugh. Gross.
That was the patch we were all sweating on too, because it was
Yeah.
the patch
Yeah.
we needed to get the.
Oh my god. Literally half of the snapshot for the regional spot was on Cavs patch.
No, the entire thing was, right? Or
The entire
no, no,
thing
no.
was, yeah.
It was first 2 weeks. So
But
it
everyone
got
No,
started
no, it was
going-
only 1 week. We only had 1 week.
Yeah,
We
You
only
had
had
one
everyone,
week?
yeah. The thing was, Beppo was the only one playing it, climbing infinite, and then like everyone is looking at his match history, seeing how broken it was. Everyone started playing it, and then like you couldn't play it. Like it felt like it was nerfed because like 6 people were contesting it every game. that was the storyline. I think.
It's only one. I thought it was 2 weeks.
No, we had 1
Yeah,
week
it
to
was
play
week?
as many games
1
as
week of
possible.
hard sweat, blood.
You know, when I
and
found
tears.
out, like when I found out it was 1 week, I found out like 2 days before it started. Like, oh my, holy crap! I hope I have no
Yeah.
work this week because if I do, it's not possible.
Yeah, I made the poor decision. I think I hit rank 1 that week. I was the first one to challenger, right? And I was like, fuck, I'm gonna go to a Smash tournament and just like take a night off. And then I played in a duo stream the GV the next day, right? So I took like a bunch of time off, like a full day off of that week. I came back, the meta was completely different, and I just had no idea what was going on. And I could never catch up. It was so bad. Yeah. And then like I thought this last week too, I think, but every time I got in the lobby with Kevin, I was like, oh shit, I can't say hi. I can't say hi. He's sweating. He's sweating. Can't disrupt him. The
I, like,
mojo.
I couldn't BM Kevin anymore. Couldn't do the little Chi-Chi
Yeah.
bounce.
Yeah, I was full sweat that week. It was crazy.
It's actually okay. It's so funny how you and Dax figured out that I was Kurum's golf flag
Oh, it was
from
so
me
easy.
doing the Chi-Chi bounce.
And so I was like, oh, this Chi-Chi's dancing. Let me take a look. Oh, it's Jirachi.
Jirachi.
Figured it out.
I remember Dax saying, "I recognize that Chi-Chi," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Actually, the day after Kurum streamed, the day after me and Arrow got leaked and someone snitched. He was saying like, "Wait, doesn't Jirachi always use this little legend?" I was like, "Yes, I'm becoming associated with my Chi-Chi. Let's fucking go."
You were never a golfer, right? You're just the server that it all kind of like culminated at. Your servers would all culminated in, but you were never a golfer yourself. You were never a golf equipment.
Golfer as in like one of the golf equipments?
Yeah.
Yes, I was not.
Okay.
Still
Okay.
not.
Oh, Yubin's a golfer. He plays golf.
I play
Yes,
golf
with your
friends,
friends.
not the IRL golf.
But not the win trade Kurum kind of golf, like the real.
Nope. No. Wait, does Kurum actually like? Kurum doesn't actually know like who's who, right?
No, I don't think so.
I'm pretty, a lot more people got leaked. It's
I
there's
mean,
like
I think
like
you and Arrow and Jiggly. That's about it, right?
that was the first round, but like Pocky kind of leaked himself.
Okay, Pocky, like everyone.
That one's on
No,
Pocky.
you can just go on any stream that Pocky is playing on. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
And
I just come clean right now with
Sun
everyone.
Astros got figured out at some point. There's
With Sun got leaked too. Holy.
I think
It's
Kurum just
like it's
Kurum-
Watergate. It's a
Kurum
fucking
might have gotten just like figured out who Sun which one Sun was, but there's a couple accounts that like they have no idea.
Kurum's
and
golf equipment
I do
game.
not have any plans on revealing like who those are.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
remember
one of them that
Kurum
literally
randomly-
only plays Chug Jug, right? I mean, that you had to connect the dots somewhere.
Yeah.
There.
Opers, no snitches.
No
It just gets stitches.
Well, like, also the thing, like a couple of them were like Smurfs too. Like Sun Astros was a Smurf, which is why he was like, "Wait, how'd I get figured out?" And Iron's a Smurf. Kurum's Golf Iron is a Smurf. Someone. So like, good luck figuring out who that is, because they can all that's I mean it's a little bit of a leak, but like anyone can go on their Smurf and do whatever the fuck they want. No snitches. Good luck figuring it out. You're never going to. If Kurum or Emily the Snitch Wang is watching this, you're never finding out who Kurum's. Even if you figure out every single person, you're never figuring out Kurum's golf iron.
I can't wait to make my own Kurum golf.
Kurum
account.
himself.
You could just do it, honestly.
It'd be so funny if it was actually like if one of the Kurum accounts is actually just Kurum. He's like playing this one at the same time, like the Spider-Man meme, right? They're pointing at each other.
That's actual intrigue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Kevin, if you want to like rename, we have a whole list of like name ideas.
Okay. I'm.
Do you want to be Kurum's golf belt, his golf grip, his golf shoes?
Is there a caddy yet? Can I be a golf caddy?
No. No, you can be Kurum's golf
Ooh,
caddy if you would
okay,
like. Yeah.
not that
though.
I'm going
You
to
need
be
it.
that because that's not me.
If
But
a
if there was
random
one,
Actually, at
Kurum
one
golf caddy appears in your game and says pants crap as the game starts, it's not Kevin. Trust, it is not Kevin Ramen.
at one point we were like at one point Socks like was in a game with like I want to say 3 of the accounts in Kurum. We all said Okage business, and he just said Okage business and was like, "Wait, can I rename to Kurum's golf socks?" That was like he never did. I don't think he's done it yet, but like Okage business is too
okay,
good. But this
business.
was like also the day before regional, so like he couldn't change his name. But we haven't gotten on top of him yet. So
Also, speaking of queuing as a group, I don't know if you saw this, Yubin, but DuoQueue for set 6 was announced.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I saw that.
let's go! Duos mode!
It's like an actual like separate ladder, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's gonna be like actual teams. So like you pick a partner, you climb the ladder with them, or
Wait, is it like if you
you
choose a partner, like you can only queue up with that partner? How, or
I think it's gonna be, and we're not too sure. I feel like what it's probably gonna be is that you can make multiple teams, but like your team, like, you'll be assigned that like. So if I make a team with, like, let's say I make a team with Kevin, I make a team with GVA, right? Like we'd be like the teams' names would be different, like it'd be different, et cetera, et cetera.
that's
But I
pretty
think you can
cool.
probably queue with other teams. Yeah, is my guess.
Or maybe if it's anything like Flex Queue over in League, it's like you can queue with whoever, and you
Yeah.
have your own rating, but like it's just like in the duo. It's your own rating for the duo specific mode specifically.
Well, I know they
I
said
mean,
they were
I've
gonna.
never actually like played. I mean, like I saw the like 4v or sorry, the 2v2 tourneys like that happened in any. When was it? Was it
Like
before
3 weeks
regionals? It
ago.
was before regionals, right?
It
Yeah.
was a while, yeah, a little
Before
bit ago.
regionals, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like super cool. Like I feel like it's so different playing like a normal tourney compared to like the 2v2 tourneys. Like the game just becomes so different, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's like constant communication, like you hold units, you like tell each other like, oh, I'm gonna be like swapping like here and here. I feel like it's like a really different perspective to TFT, and like I'm actually pretty curious as to how that's gonna play out. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. So I think they are doing actual teams. Like the team will be on the ladder itself. Because I remember they said there's gonna be a tournament at some point where they take the top teams, like the top teams on the ladder from leaderboard.
Oh, okay.
To yeah. So it's gonna be there's actually gonna be stuff to play for as well. Like there will be a reason to sweat this format, which is cool as fuck.
That's
I'm
Actually,
that's
so
really.
excited.
cool as well.
Slightly,
You,
unfortunately, it means you kind of have to commit to a duo, which, like,
yeah.
honestly, like, and not that I don't like want to commit to someone as like a duo partner, but like getting to like play with different people on duo ladder would be so much fun.
Yep.
So,
Does anyone have any teams in mind?
well,
Any
Ramblin'
partners?
Robin is hitting rank 1.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, they're ranked one
No
day one.
question.
I'll be playing with Dex. At least
That's
some.
gonna be so fun to watch.
It
Oh
won't.
my god.
I don't know how the regions are gonna work, because it's weird. But we'll be
Yeah,
playing
it'd be.
some.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, I don't know if anyone. I'm sure a lot of people are watching on Kevin's channel right now. Like you've seen the Dax, the Kevin duo queue. That shit's so fun to watch. So getting like an official format will be sick as hell. It'll be so sick. I personally don't have anyone. Like I mean, obviously, there's people I'd like to team with. Like that would be fun to team with. Like I'd like to team with Rasma is a big thing. I like team with Rasma would be super fun. Team with GV8 again would be fun. I have a mod who's climbing right now who we're on a team with, who is a bitch because he mains Bowser and Smash, which is a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. But if you main Bowser and Smash, you're a bitch. First off, and
Feels
last
bad.
off, I guess.
I'll
Yeah,
W.
Feels
it's a
bitch.
call out to all Bowser mains of the world. Side B this pants grab.
The only thing I was like thinking about in terms of the 2v2 thing is like, so you can only like technically queue up with your duo partner, right? And like if that's the case, you can only play with the other person if like they're online as well. How would you like juggle the 2v2 thing and like the solo queue ladder? Like wouldn't you have to commit a lot of time into the duo queue instead of playing um like solo queue ladder?
Yeah,
That'd be kind of hectic, no?
Maybe, yeah.
it is. It is. Yeah, it would be very
I
weird.
I feel like in some sense, like the 2v2 might just be like a for fun thing, like kind of how not a lot of people um look at like flex queue and summoners rift as like kind of legitimate, you know what I mean? Might just be like a for fun thing. I feel
Mhm.
like on the side.
That's
People
true.
I
won't
think.
take it like, too
Yeah.
seriously. Yeah.
I think, and if considering like like the how like the high level community views duos, and like we want duos for sure.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we'll probably like we'll play that ladder for sure, but knowing NA especially, we're still gonna value solo queue so much that like
Mhm.
we're going to be putting our time primarily into that for sure,
Yeah.
and like
I
that's gonna matter more.
Yeah, I could see it getting kind of like how like the hyper roll ladder. I mean, I haven't looked at hyper roll ladder, but I'm assuming like the top of the ladder is like a bunch of people who play like mostly hyper roll, don't really play like solo queue. Like, it's not like a bunch of like the top 10 and like ranked ladder TFT aren't the top 10 in hyper roll, right? So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if like where the time difference is gonna like people are gonna be a lot of time in a solo queue, not a lot of time in a duo queue. If like that tournament's gonna have a lot of people in it, that's not that like aren't actually like top players, or if it's going to be. I guess it depends on how the ladder is formatted. I guess it'd be cool if it was like. I mean, it'd be weird. Like you can play you can play like normal duo queues whenever you want, but you can only play ranked duo queues like 5 games a week, right, with your partner or something. So there's like a small time investment to get to the top of the ladder. Like if you do well, you do well. Like that could be kind of cool for like the
Mhm.
ladder in terms of getting to a tournament and something for like top players that want to get to that. But yeah, it just seems like it'd be a big time investment to reach the top of the
Yeah.
ladder if it is just like a straight up you can queue 30 times a day with your partner if you really want to.
I mean, it probably depends on like how the Snapchat system is like next set for sure. I
Yeah.
feel like I was like, no, if we had duo queue right now, why would I be playing solo queue? You know, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like there's nothing to
Yeah.
do on solo queue. It's just solo queue for solo queue. You know, but like depending on like how important it like your ladder position is, maybe like
Yeah.
during qualification season, probably can't put too much time into it. But if it's more lenient, maybe if they like do more like tournament stuff instead, I could see it like you play duo queue ladder instead if you don't really have to climb too hard on solo queue. But I think it all
Yeah.
depends on like how qualifiers are gonna work out for next set and like
Yeah, hopefully they're different times. Like there's like different times in the season. Like hopefully the snapshots aren't like big TFT like big solo tournaments aren't anywhere near like the duos tournament, you know. That'd be nice. It's like you don't have to sweat for both at the same time, like pick one.
Yeah. I think as long as they're spacing out the qualifiers for solos and duos and like letting high level players not have to pick one or the other, like we can do both. Like that'll probably work out the best. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, because I would love to not have to pick one. Just personally, I definitely want to do both.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think everyone will. I don't
Yeah.
think there's anyone like everyone. See a lot of streamers and stuff are duo queuing right now. There are like so many people just like. I mean, I like hit a. So I had to like rent a master's lobby today, and it had that Bowser main mod of mine in it. So I like we just jumped Discord and shot the shit in the game. It's so much more fun to like if you're like just not really sweating, you're just playing. Although admittedly I was sweating because it was a 7 masters plus me lobby, so if I went 8th, it was minus 100. But like overall, it's so much more fun to play with, like to talk with people and like be in the same game as
Yeah.
someone. Um, so
Yeah, and like being in the same lobby as your friends, like you technically you're griefing each other, but like it doesn't matter. You do still have more fun despite
yeah,
that. So
yeah, for
imagine
sure.
like the fun you're gonna have when we have these like they announce duo specific like mechanics. So like shared health pool, and then like I don't even remember what it's called, but like some like favor you can throw your duo partner to
Yeah,
help
yeah.
them out. Like it's
Mhm.
active like mechanics that are actively like helping each other out. And I think we we think we talked about this when Ramblin' was on, but like the problem with duos currently being that all the mechanics and the team play interaction is just how do we not hurt each other? And now in the duos mode they announced, it is not how do we not hurt each other, it's how do we actively help each other out, and I'm really
Mhm.
excited for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a much healthier format for like a doubles format. Um, yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be very cool. They also announced the date for Worlds, October 1st, I think it was.
Finally.
Yeah. Uh, any favorites going into Worlds for you, Yubin?
Um, like like region or players.
I mean,
Either.
I guess both. Whatever you're feeling.
I want KR to do well, but I honestly legitimately think NA's gonna do super well.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I don't really follow or watch too much NA streams, but like Robin, I've been watching Robin since like set I think like 3. He was like one of the only streamers I actually watched to like learn the game, and I actually think Robin's like super. Uh, I mean, he's doing really well in ladder too, right? Like this
He
set.
just ran
I
it
think
down,
Robin's
but
like a
he
really
was
big favorite to
last
actually
set
win
he was
Worlds.
popping off, or last
Yeah.
match he was popping off.
He was like rank 1, 2, or
Yeah,
whatever the
I
entire
think NA
time.
is actually gonna do well. Like no cap. I want KR to do well, but I have a feeling like no flame, but the players that are representing. Okay, the thing about Korea is a lot of good players quit um in set 5, starting set 5. So I don't really have too much like expectations from KR, but I want KR to do well. Yeah, that's my prediction. Yeah.
Hmm.
I already
I
know my
can.
favorite for Worlds. Esha, hands up. Esha
Let's
qualifying for Worlds is
go.
the funniest
Uh,
shit
that
ever.
was actually so funny.
It's funny, but he also like deserves it. He's
Yeah,
been
yeah, for sure.
working.
I think his picture on the TFT like World Cup thing, like the streamer thing, is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I have no idea what it's from, but like I was watching his stream the other night and I was like, that is not the same person.
I've been lied to.
No
This is
way.
false advertising.
Yeah, like I didn't come here for this. I came here for the cow maid Esha. Yeah, I don't know. I think what's gonna happen. I feel like it's gonna be I feel like the meta at Worlds is gonna be very NA. I feel like a lot of people have been like boot camp. Like a lot of people from like EUS have been boot camping NA, and like I feel like a lot of like play styles are just kind of like culminating in it. Like NA feels like this big brewing pot right now of like a bunch of players like playing from different regions and stuff. And I mean, would I think NA is gonna do very well. I think the meta is gonna be in their favor because I feel like it's gonna be less. I don't think it's gonna be like I think it's gonna be the NA tournament meta, which is probably closer to Korea than the Korean play style than the NA ladder play style. Because NA tournament play style is pretty aggressive. It's aggressive rolling, like staying healthy, etc. So it's not quite hitting every 4 costs at 3-1 aggressive, but it's still pretty aggro. So I could see. I think NA is gonna do pretty well, and I think it is gonna be kind of centered around like our play style. That's my guess.
Low key, like NA's playstyle has been shifting. Also, because like a lot of people from a lot of different regions, like for the past like set and a half, like since the beginning of set 5, have been playing in NA. Like a lot of LATAM people, like Latin America, have been over here. I mean, European players have been here for a while. Like the whole KR invasion that happened last set, that's still going on. Like Chinese Chinese account sellers have been here forever,
I
and like
haven't
I
seen
mean,
VK in so long though. Where did they all go?
Yeah.
I missed the VK
Wait,
numbers.
Where-
Or VX, the VX ones.
where
Yeah,
are
the
the VX players? Yeah,
I have no
the
idea.
VX players are gone now.
You know what?
I
You know
just
what?
realized that.
Maybe they were all under 18, and because they live in China, they can't play.
Oh man, that
Think about that though. Think about that one.
yikes.
Yikes. But we probably shouldn't
That's a
get too
whole
into
nother
it.
issue.
We'll
Yeah.
avoid we'll avoid
That's-
that one. We'll
If you talk
avoid
about
that
Chinese
one.
TFT, we can talk about that.
But, if there are any NA Worlds representatives watching, I am down to divulge all of my secrets forever. If you just send me I got some secrets.
Oh.
Optimally. No.
Oh yeah.
I can also teach you the way to play Udyr 3 optimally. Don't play Udyr. That's how you play it optimally.
No, I mean I think there's a pretty open secret that if you type exclamation point Udyr in Kevin's chat, you get like it just is the it's the knowledge dump. Like that is all you need to know to go first with Udyr 3.
But like, I mean, looking at no, I agree with you, Ben. I think like this this is probably like I mean it's only compared to two other sets, but this is the strongest NA NA rep lineup I think has ever looked. Like
Agree.
I mean set 3 it was Socks and Oboe. Like it's just Socks and then Socks. It was not really peak form Socks. So we did
Bang
not
Bros, one trick main,
Yeah.
Socks.
exactly. We did
We got
not send our
every game.
Into
we did not send our best Socks to set 3 Worlds. And like set 4, like solid lineup. Like for sure.
Very solid
like
lineup, yeah.
we sent a super solid lineup, but like and wait, what was set 4? It was you,
It was-
Kevin, DQA, Kurum.
Kurum
You know, I think our
Socks.
set 4 lineup was pretty
Socks,
good.
right.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, except for lineup was good. I think this year's lineup is like as strong. I mean, Milk Robin and Spencer are all cracked. It kind of comes down to like I think sending 3. There are a lot of players I would have been happy with sending to Worlds this set. I mean, I like I think getting Milk, Socks, and Spencer as those 3. They're 3 of many that could have been super great at Worlds. So I'm excited to see how they do.
Although I'm pretty sure like we cannot count EU out like ever.
mhm.
Like last year, the EU players, I was like, I don't know any of these names, and then they just turned the fuck up to Worlds because they always do that. So like, and I mean, I look at the names this year too. I'm just like, I don't know any of these people. Like, I know Scapeus now, but like, I didn't know any of these people before. And just knowing how EU is, they're going to show up. Like, would not be surprised if they outperform NA as much as we're like hyping NA up. I mean, we're also biased, so it is what it is. But
yeah, but there's always an NA bias. I feel like I don't know anything with the EU people this year. I literally the only person I know anything about is Scapeus, and all I know is that he pinged me in the game once. Like, he beat me, pinged me, and I don't know why. I don't know why
He dares
He
to
just
ping
pinged
me.
Like,
You know, I don't know about you guys,
that's
but
the real
I feel
ping
like
diff between regions.
the
Jesus.
most exciting thing about Worlds is always seeing what China does. You know, like
Yeah,
we don't see
I
China
agree.
like it does like maybe they're not gonna do well, but like okay, last Worlds, like for example during scrims, you know, you had the Chinese players in scrims and they were all just full open, no units on board, all the
So
way up
fun.
until 3-5. And you had multiple of them in your lobby, and you're like, oh my god, these people are insane. And like we don't really get to see them too much, right? So it's like, you know, I looked at one of the final results for one of their lobbies. It was like Viego 3 versus like 3-star Belcause or something. It was like, what the heck are these people doing? What is happening? What?
It's so fun to watch, though.
I feel like China's always played like greedier than NA, if that's even possible. Like NA greed in the past has been pretty absurd, but like China takes it to a whole new level. It's actually nuts.
Yeah, I was talking to Jiggly about it like recently. He said in Chinese server like they literally don't slam any items like at all unless it's like super BIS. Which like I was like really surprised to hear that. But like even like during fights he says they only slam items if it looks like they're going to win by slamming it. So in any other scenario they just like don't make any items. And they save it until like they have 3 best in slot for their carry, which is super interesting. Yeah.
It definitely
It's
sounds like
really
a fun way to
different
play.
stuff other regions.
If they're doing that though, they're gonna get that. Like there's no way.
But I
Like,
do.
The rest of the world just plays way too aggressively to make not slamming items viable.
But I do like the concept of like not like I've been like when I play Red, I don't try to immediately slam items. I always, well, sometimes I do, but like a lot of the times it's like if I don't have to do it and I look at the fight and I'll win anyway. Sometimes you're like, no,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah,
if
you
you're
don't
trying to
wanna
be like
overplay it.
fully flexible, right? Like if you don't commit to an item earlier on, it really like if you can get away with it, that is like you know you have so many more options open to you. Like if I slam
Yeah.
Last Whisper early, it's like well. Now I have Last Whisper, and I have to play a unit that uses Last Whisper, or this item is dead.
Yeah.
I do think there's a lot of room for like not slamming everything instantly and an aggressive play style. Like, like if you want to play aggressively and you want to like win a game off of it, I feel like a lot of the time you need to be like only like slamming stuff. Like you don't want to overplay it all, right? Like you have to play like this perfect line. I feel like especially in like top challenger lobbies, if you don't play this perfect line, you're gonna either like go fourth or go bot four. Like, you're either gonna like fizzle out to a fourth, or you're gonna just bot four off of like reading too hard. So you know, like there's always this line you have to play where like, was this slamming that's gonna do anything in this fight? Is like leveling you're gonna make me win a fight that I wouldn't otherwise, or is it just like me wasting gold for no real reason? Um, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of intricacy to it. It's cool.
Although I've I like hesitate to hype up the Latin American reps because like I've like poor Pie Hat, like we were like he's doing well in scrims and they didn't do that well, or Worlds, like poor guy. But like I've Steel Kun Mbappe, however you pronounce that.
Oh, he was in a couple of my lobbies today.
I've like seen him around NA ladder and like he's good.
Oh, are they
Steel
chilling on it right now?
Sealcoot's been on NA for a while. Like a lot of
Huh.
LATAM has been on NA, has been kind of migrated over because like that server's just kind of dead now.
Wait. So who are the representatives from?
It's El Tomo and Sealcoot.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Did they
know
play
any.
at NA?
I don't know anything about El Tomo, but like Sealcoot has been playing on NA for a
I'm
while.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure I've been in a lot with him, just not realized
Yeah.
it's them.
So I wouldn't be that surprised if Sealcoot does well. Like, and Japan's rep has always randomly showed up. So
Maybe not
Yeah.
random.
not random. Not it's not random anymore. What it's if they show up for a third time, then like okay, it's definitely not random. There's a pattern now.
Yeah, I mean, they have
And
really good players. Like Tapioca Oishi on NA ladder
Oh,
is
yeah.
so cracked.
yeah.
Popping
Oh,
up.
So
Tapio.
cracked.
I'm not even gonna bother trying to pronounce that, but they hit rank 1 a couple days ago. So like Japanese
they're so
players are
good.
kind of cracked.
Like they
I
were.
do. Oh, yeah, sorry. Go ahead,
I
Kevin.
don't know. Like they're innovators too. You know.
Mhm.
You know, Tapioca is actually the one. They were the one that came up with the Lux comp, and they're like, So I think the A bomb carry was actually from EU, but I think Tapioca was the first one I really saw spamming it. Like the A bomb, Hurricane, Last Whisper, +1, plus
Mhm.
Zyra. I think Tapioca was like the first one really spamming that on NA. Oh
Yeah, they're very creative. They're very, very creative,
yeah,
which is like great thing for a TFT player to be. So
My my literal first impression of Tapioca was in late set 5 when I was playing a bunch of Cav Spellweavers, and I hit Tapioca in 2 straight games. First time I said me Horsey. He contested me on Horsey and I sent him 8th. I load in, I see him again the next game, I type me Horsey again, and I see he's contesting me again, and I sent him 8th. Again. It was just the funniest. Like, really, you haven't learned. But like, and at that point, he was like rank 150 or something. But he's gotten a lot better. So, favorite first impression of any player, just for the record.
I wish we had a better idea of what the Japanese team is like. I would think we really need to talk to. I need to like. I feel like we need a better idea of like a lot of that, what a lot of the scenes look like. Cause like before we talked to Yubin tonight, I had no idea that like Korea was so like mechanical about how they get like are able to like form communities to get better at the game, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff like that in other regions too that we just have no idea about. Like a lot of
Yeah.
personalities too that are just diamonds in the rough. Or not really, just NA doesn't know about them, so diamonds in the rough. Puke. NA bias.
We kind of just like know about ourselves like internally. Like everyone in NA knows each other, but like we don't know that many people from other regions. I mean, like, well, like randomly there will be some like cross pollination, like me and Aniko over in OCE. So like we know a bunch of the OCE people now, but like there's not that much cross pollination like that.
No, there definitely. Hopefully, there will be more as like TFT progresses as a game, and like the more hype that surrounds it. And they hopefully, I mean, it sounds like Set 6 is going to be amazing, and more dogs been hyping up a bunch. So, I mean, I think Set 6 will see a big growth and like hopefully TFT and like the community in general and stuff. So, it'd be nice to get more connections, like cross continent, cross server, etc. I mean,
Well,
I've been What is that term for when you're like landlocked? I've been landlocked in NA for a while. Like I need to spread my wings and fly, you know?
In all fairness, isn't it more Dog's job to literally hype up this game?
I mean that's true.
True.
Set 6 will be better, Copium.
When your livelihood depends on it, you can't really be like everybody.
I mean, he's not gonna say it sucks, but like I
TFT
trust
is garbage. Do not play this game.
him.
That's true.
Pivot
TFT
Dota
is garbage.
Auto Chess.
Do not play this game.
Is Dota Auto Chess still like alive and
I mean,
thriving?
it's still alive. It's more alive than like Dota Underlords, which is super.
Wait, are they
stupid.
different things?
Yeah. So Dota Auto Chess is like the it's like a mod inside the actual Dota 2.
Okay, gotcha.
Underlords was like the actual game that Valve created, like as a spin-off, kind of like Valve's version of TFT, that they didn't put it in the Dota client, unlike TFT where they put it in the Elite client.
Yeah.
But they stopped updating that game like
07.
peace out.
Right. Well, we can get to a couple questions now from people in chat. Let's see. We have one from Xmoechi, whose question was biggest steps to climbing to challenger and being consistent. How would one improve from like low challenger to high challenger? And we can just go in a circle if you want to start, Drachi.
Mine's like super general, but just like fixing tiny things. Cause like I feel like anything above diamond, anything even above plat, it's well, I'll say above diamond. Everything above diamond is just tiny things, whether it's like tiny tweaks to fundamentals or like once you get to like above GM, like your fundamentals are solid and like your advanced fundamentals are also solid at that point. That point you're finding tiny adjustments, you're finding tiny tweaks to like consistently get into your own play. And whatever form that takes for you, like I can't say like, oh, this is the tweak that you should be playing. You should get in your game to get you from rank 150 to rank 100 because it's different for every player and it's different for every play style. But whatever like that tiny tweak is, like every tiny tweak you make makes a difference and helps you climb. So
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any thoughts on it, Yubin?
So I think I kind of do agree with Drachi in that sense. I think after like I don't know about diamond, but like maybe like mid high diamond and up, I think most players like have like a pretty good grasp on the fundamentals of the game. Like they know um like what items go on like with champions, what like an end game board should look like. But I think the biggest difference between like starting like probably like masters GM, low challenger and high challenger is like getting to that like end game stage or like playing or knowing how to optimally play with the items and the openers that you get. And I think like the biggest difference between low and high challenger is probably this is just my opinion, but I think e- even in high challenger, I feel like most players have very different and unique like play styles. I think understanding and being able to realize what your specific playstyle is and being able to optimize that is the best way to um, climb from like mid challenger to high challenger. Like for even for me personally, I feel like my playstyle is very different. No matter like what set or meta, I feel like the way I approach and play the game is very different to um a lot of the high challenger players as well. Yeah, that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I think also like a big thing that I've been thinking about recently at TFT is like I think a lot of people don't ask the right question. Like if you think about what you should be prioritizing, a big thing comes from like your fundamental understanding of the game. And like I think a lot of people sort of prioritize correct things. Like how do I like what is the most OP thing that I can play right now? What are the most OP items I can make right now? What is the meta? And I think like in terms of like your improvement in the long run, those are things that don't really play into this, right? Like if I know what the current meta is now, that doesn't mean that I like if somebody tells me what the current meta is now. That's not gonna help me know what the current meta is next patch, right? I'm not gonna be able to internalize that information and be like, okay, I'll read these. I see this in game. I see what's happening. Okay, this is strong, right? If you don't know how to do that, a lot of the times it's sort of like I feel like you know, especially for low challenger players, right? They like if you're a low challenger, you probably know what's sort of like meta, right? You know what comps are strong. You know sort of you have a decent understanding of how to play those, but like I feel like to be like at the top of the top, you really have to sort of have a fundamental understanding of the you have to be able to do things for yourself, and you have to be able to think for yourself. And that's the big thing, right? Is like sort of seeing the game in a way that goes sort of beyond just superficial and being strong right now. It's sort of you have to be able to assess situations. You have to be understand like, okay, why does something work, right? If I see somebody playing something, why is that working? Why am I losing? Why am this? Why is this like strong in meta? Like it's really at least from the way that I approach the game and how I sort of got really good is sort of like I feel like I started asking the correct question versus like asking, oh, what items should I put on this unit? It should be like, why should I put these items, right? Or like, why does it make sense to play this trait here versus the other trait, right? Like I think a big thing is being able to know why and being able to then act on that information, right? Because um like in the end of the day, right? Like if you really want to set yourself apart from other people, you have to be able to think for yourself, right? Um and if you want to climb ladder like higher than other people, then obviously that's what you should be, because if I'm just being like, oh, I see this person doing this on stream, I'll do that, right? Or it's more so like I see this person doing this on stream, is it correct or not? Like I think one thing that when I was really starting to improve, I was actually watching a lot of the top challenger streamers, and I was being like, I don't think that's correct. I feel like that doesn't seem right, that doesn't look right. And then you act on that information, and if your understanding of the game is good enough, then it'll actually you might actually be right, even though they're like top ladder, top challenger, right? But like sometimes they like people still make mistakes, right? Nobody plays the game perfectly, and like if you can really think for yourself, then I think that's where it pushes you through that barrier, I would say.
Yeah, I think what Kevin said really kind of like gets to the core of it. I think like getting good at TFT, especially getting like from like low challenger to high challenger or whatever, it's about making the game your own, right? I feel like the closer, at least for me personally, I feel like the closer I got and I keep getting to making TFT feel almost like a sandbox game is the better. It correlates with how good I'm getting at the game, right? Like TFT is a game where there is a lot of there is certainly variance, there's RNG, etc. But there's a lot of like your understanding of like of that. I guess I'll talk a little bit about how to get, because everyone kind of talked about already everything else already. But we can talk a little bit about how to get better as well. You kind of have to break down a lot of it. I think getting better is breaking down like your understanding of what's in your control and what's not in your control in a game of TFT, right? Because there's a lot in the game of TFT that is a direct result of every decision, every little decision you made over the course of the game, right? Like buying a unit, like your stage two, like buying one unit stage two over another unit stage two can totally affect how your board looks like at the end of the game. Same with like little items and like item decisions and stuff like that, right? So the more power you're able to exert over like your board, over the game, like the course of the game, the tempo of your game, like the more you're able to make all of that your own and like you're able to direct that yourself, the more power you'll have over the game, and then the better you'll get. Like really, TFT wants to be like it wants to be a game. I feel like it really wants to feel like a sandbox game. It wants to be a game where like you have all the power and it's giving you all these options. And you can do whatever you want with it, right? So you need to set yourself up and your understanding of the game up in a way that lets you control that as much as you can. And like, a lot of like climbing from low challenger to high challenger can be just like getting over a like understanding that something might not be RNG, right? That like you didn't hit because you did something wrong early game and that directly affected your late game. Where if you did this better, this better, this better, and like the reason why you see like high challenger players and top challenger players have like so much more of like a defined play style, they're very unique. I think all of us play very differently in this podcast, even, right? Um, and that comes with like having a very deep understanding of the game and being able to make the game our own. Whether like it doesn't have to be in the same form for everyone as well, and it really shouldn't be, because at the end of the day, it's a game that like lets you express yourself in a lot of ways, and understanding that and like being able to manipulate that to the best of your ability is what will make you better at TFT. Yeah. Copium.
I want to say something again. A quote I picked up from Pi actually, and this is almost for like the jump from like low challenger to like high challenger, top of ladder, like that jump specifically, but like you'll never be the best if you don't do something better than everyone else. And you're never going to, and like I mean that's the quote, but like you're never going to do something better than everyone else if you just copy streamers and like copy exactly what other people are doing, because if you're trying to copy other people without really thinking for yourself, you're never going to be better than them. Like if I watch Soju and just try to be a carbon copy of Soju, I'm never going to be as good as Soju. I will always just be a worse version of him. And if Soju's rank 1 and I'm a worse version of Soju, I will never be above him, so I will never be rank 1. And I think like that's why all 4 of us in this call, all 4 of us have like found the success we've had because we think for ourselves, and we do at some point or another we've done something better than everyone else in the server. Like even I've never hit rank 1. Appies has been like early set rank 1. Ramkev like just started hitting rank 1. Have you been rank 1?
No, I think the highest LP was like 17 like 02 or something.
Jesus. Well, like we've all been really high challenger, but like even at that point, we've done something better than everyone else. So like that's what's put us like at the top. And it's because like and a lot of us will like copy other people, but we're not just doing carbon copies. We like look at what other people are doing and like learn from that. So being like really thinking about your own play style helps a lot, is basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah. I mean, I also there's like a saying when I first started playing TFT, I think in like set 2. I'm not sure who I like heard it from. Might have been like Corpic, but like people, I remember everyone in the chat would be complaining like, "Oh, I can't climb because I'm getting like bad RNG," or
Mhm.
like these players only high rank because like they have better luck than me. And like I remember he said the only real RNG aspect of the game is the first carousel where like you're literally just spamming to get the item. Everything else is like almost in your control. So it's like your ability to um play efficiently with like what you get. And like it's easier said than done, obviously, like play your strongest board or like make the best items. Like it's super easy to say that, but then like Rankiv was explaining about how like it all comes down to like how well you understand all the like little ins and outs and the fundamentals of the game. And that I think that's what separates like especially like a low and like high challenger.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think there's a lot else about TFT that the better you get under, the better you understand it, the better you'll do. All right, we have a question, a less in deep question from Halk477 asking, what chibi champ are you looking forward to see in TFT? And if you don't say Warwick, you are wrong. Or Darius.
Oh,
I-
I'm wrong. Alright, I already saw Jinx. I'm gonna play Jinx. I'm gonna go Jinx.
Oh, I'm down for Jinx. I
Let's
barely know
go.
I think I like skipped over that part of the video when they were
Yeah.
talking about chibi champ.
Yubin
So I
might not
don't
know
what's
about
up with
this.
that.
Yeah, so little legends are now, they're gonna be little legends that are just little versions of champions from League. So there's like they showed like a little chibi Jinx that just like runs around, like has they basically have like emotes like little legend would, they run like little legend would, but they're just champions.
So like Jinx is the little legend.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
It's like a little
sticking with
chibi, it's like a Nendroid Jinx kind of look.
I don't give a shit because I'm just playing Chi-Chi.
I
Do
only
not give a
use it,
fuck.
right, so I literally don't use any little legends. Like
Well, Ramcab and I can be excited on our own.
It's
then.
true. I was never gonna switch off of Chi-Chi, but they got me. They got me
No,
good.
no,
They got me.
no, Chi-Chi supremacy. No,
I
Yeah,
got
I feel
it.
like Silverring.
no.
I feel like Silverring's a trademark, but if there's a
Ah.
Darius, there's no fucking way I'm not like spamming dunk on some idiot. I just like 10 out. And there's no way I'm not dunking on some person. Anyways.
I gotta keep Prodigy Chi-Chi though. I don't know how I'm gonna split it up though, because back when I first started playing League, I was actually a Jinx one trick. I only played Jinx.
Actually, same.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Actually, are like the same person.
Whoa.
We both use Chi-Chi. We both played Jinx.
Ooh. This might be the divergence.
We have another question from Beppo. Do you folks play better on stream or off stream in all caps?
Off stream, and it's not even close.
Yeah, I think offstream for sure.
Off stream, because there's like maybe there's just like, and some people, like, I feel like some people do play better on stream just because they're more accustomed to that. But like for me, there's so much going on in my brain, and I'm thinking about so much all the time that like having the added distraction of looking at chat actually like messes with my flow a little bit. So like just like that distraction like does like gets in my brain and does so much that like I play so much worse on stream.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like I personally like, so I started streaming like the set I hit Challenger and like literally the last year 3.5 I got like 99th in Challenger, right? I mean, it was 100 slots. So I was like, and then like set 4, like as set 4 came out, I started streaming. So I like didn't know much about the game at that point. And so I kind of like got better at TFT as I was streaming, and I feel I definitely play better on stream, because I'm so used to like vocalizing my thought process and like the thing about stream is that if I don't play on stream, I am going down the YouTube rabbit hole no matter what. Like I have a window open, I'm watching YouTube as I like you know autopilot my positioning every single round. So, like being on stream, one I'm very used to it, and it's like how I it's the situation I got like I was in as I was getting better at the game, and I just can't pay attention for shit if I'm if I'm not like forced to like vocalize what I'm doing. I will be watching every Strictly Dumpling video known to man until the end. Yeah, it's just it's not even close.
Oh,
What are you, Mr. Kevin Ramen?
so I mean, people probably know this already. I definitely play better off stream. No, recently, I've been able to climb on stream thanks to some new tech, which I call not reading chat, which I semi got from Yubin. I saw
The new
Yubin
tech.
streaming. I saw the Yubin tech, and not reading chat. But before that, like for Snapshot, for example, I just didn't stream for a week. Like not, and the thing is, I still get this. Like I was in Discord calls with like my friends during those games, but like, uh, for me personally, it's like it's like if I hear an opinion about TFT that I think is semi reasonable, which is something that chat does a lot. It's something that if you're in a voice call with other TFT players, hear a lot. You'll be like, oh, that makes sense. I give this like 60% chance of working. I'll do that, and like, at least for me, it's like, in the end, I feel like my intuition almost always ends up being a little bit better. So that's why like reading chat and like being in Discord call with other players while I'm playing, I feel like actually it actually has like a pretty big impact. I would even say it's like very statistically significant. But yeah, that's why like when I'm really really trying, like I'll listen to music. I like music, and I feel like it's good for. I play better with adrenaline, but like that's a slightly different thing. It's just like when you hear TFT opinions, not even like getting tilted by chat, but sometimes if they just have suggestions, you're like, oh, now it's in the back of my brain. Maybe I'll do that. If it ends up affecting it at all, I feel like it's usually in the negative direction. It doesn't help. That's why I feel like if I'm really trying, no chat or like no.
Yeah, it's definitely a person to person thing because I feel like the questions, both of like my I hit like rank 2 like my like I was playing LP below like rank 1 like a couple weeks ago, right, or like 3 weeks ago, and the entire time I think like I was just answering literally every single question in chat. And like the thing is, I feel like for some people, like for me personally, it's like more of a it's like a focusing point for me where like it forces me to think about like answering questions for chat forces me to think about the game. Like it forces me to like not just wander off mentally and like sweat every little thing because I want to talk about it, I want to like describe it, etc. Um, but I've always I guess I'm a little ADD guy. I just like multitask. I can't not multitask, and so like if I'm streaming and I'm talking to chat as I'm playing, it's like the way to multitask, but like while also forcing me to focus on the game. So it's like and obviously chat saved my ass sometimes. Obviously, chat knows best. Kofi.
Yeah, I think
Agreed.
I honestly think it just varies from like person to person.
Yeah.
But like I do agree with what Ramke was talking about, how um like when you stream, you're definitely gonna be looking at what the people in the chat are saying, right? And not necessarily saying that they're always wrong, but when they like come up with a suggestion or say something that could like potentially impact like the way you play your game, it's always gonna be in the back of your head whether like you actually do it or not. And that definitely has like a huge impact on like how that specific game does play out. And that's why I also do agree that I think if you want to actually climb LP and you want to stream, the best way is to just not read chat. Like that, I think that's like the only way, honestly.
That's fair. Yeah, I definitely think it's definitely a person to person thing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely varies too, cause like one of the players like Raditz, remember at the beginning of the snapshot, right? He was like,
Mhm.
I forget who was talking. Maybe it was Bryce, but he was saying like Raditz plays better on stream, and it's the same reason with the appies, right? Like you get less distracted while playing the game. 'Cause sometimes people,
Exactly.
like have a second thing open, and you're like watching YouTube videos on the side, and you're like, but like sometimes it helps, and I think it varies depending on player, right?
Yeah, I think I have the attention span of a very small squirrel. So it really, I think if you're falling that category, it helps a lot.
As someone who's in the same boat of like, I have the attention span of an even smaller squirrel. My attention span outside of TFT is like a squirrel that's like that big. Like very, very tiny squirrel. But like with TFT, like I have this like hyper focus mode almost where it's like I'm just locked in. And like outside distractions like can like really fuck with that, and like stream chat becomes one of those distractions. So like that's why like even though like I have ADHD and like theoretically like I should be getting distracted by a bunch of stuff if I'm playing off stream, and like I get the like having chat as like the sole distraction kind of like narrows that down. But like when chat just is a distraction for me, and that's compared to like when I'm super locked in, I don't have distractions, so it does become like off stream is better for me, even though like I have ADHD.
All right. And our last question for the day uh is just from Adra, is why is Yubin so freaking cute?
Audrey,
Andre,
Andre.
Andre, yes.
because he's the earrings first of all.
true. Yeah,
Yubin's a
I don't know how to
cutie.
answer that.
Yubin is a confirmed cutie.
Yubin, why are you so cute?
I don't know. It is what
It
it
just
is.
be like
It's
that.
because of all the golf. Golf makes you more
True,
cute.
golf. It's a golf div.
True.
Wait, and why
true,
am I
true.
not? Why am I not that cute? Actually, that's false. This hoodie's
Not enough
adorable. I got this hoodie today, and it's so cute.
Not bad.
All right. Well, I guess on that note, thank you so much, Yubin, for being so cute and for being on our podcast. It's been an
for having
honor to
me.
have you on. And I guess like from there, we'll just wrap it up. I think we had a pretty good time. Did you
Oh,
enjoy yourself, Yubin?
Yeah, I had a great time. Thanks for having me again. It was really fun. Yeah.
Yubin, do you have anyone you want to shout out?
Shout out to all the monkey dogs in my Discord for entertaining me. Yeah,
Hell
that's
yeah.
about it.
So when are you gonna
Alright.
stream again?
Huh?
When you gonna stream again?
Yes.
Back to
Alright.
you, Abby's.
All right. Well, on that note, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching, chat. Thank you so much again, Yubin, for being on, and thank you so much to Jirachi and Ramkev for being the best co-hosts of all time. So until next time, next week, next Thursday, next Friday. It's not Thursday tonight. Yeah.
Oh,
Until
it is
then.
Friday. End of the week.
Yeah, it is a Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. All right, chat. Peace out. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.
Hey.